Hey guys, and welcome back to another quick off the cuff. I'm hoping that you haven't heard of this one yet. I feel like I got in there fairly early. But there's a big thanks to Andy Ngo, who supplied this video. And today it's going to be about Antifa. So, yesterday there was a protest, or rather over the weekend, there was a protest at a Home Office building, Home Office in London, by a group called the South Eastern Alliance. It's basically a nationalist group, and they were protesting the fact that influx and immigration has damaged things like the NHS. It's had an effect on policing, it's had an effect on housing, a massive effect on housing. And it just so happened that Antifa, London Antifa, there's a couple of Marxist groups, they decided that they would turn up just at the right time. So we've got a group of middle-class bourgeois babies that decided to come along chanting anti-fascista to a bunch of working-class policemen that really don't want to be caught between these two groups. Let's see what happens.
Nasty scum! Off our streets! Nasty scum! Nasty scum! Nasty scum!
Cool, so we now have a foreigner who can't pronounce the word Nazi screaming to a working class black British dude, Nazi scum. Nazi scum off our streets. At least learn how to shout the words, you frickin' dongoloid.
Nasty scum! Yeah, come on in, boy! I met you, boy! Get the fuck out, Croydon!
Oh, we've got someone with dreads. Oh, look at that face. That is an angry face. Oh, I bet he's had such a tough life in the fifth most powerful country in the world. Oh man, I bet he's had such a rough life. He sounds it, doesn't he? He's got a real working class accent as well.
Fucking Nazi! Fuck off! Fucking... You are the worst! You're such a coward! Say that to my face! Say that to my face! Terrorist scum! Move back! Move back! No! Move back! Move back! Step back! Stay there! That's close enough, mate! Stay there! Stay back! Stay back for us! Stay back! Why are you getting closer? Very simple. Stay back! Stand back! You're hurting my nipple! Right, stand back!
Lol. So that sort of middle-aged, crusty dreadlock wearing wench just shouted, "You're hurting my nipple." Well, maybe you shouldn't have got it pierced in the first place.
Stop pushing! Get back! 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 Is that the only thing?
So am I the only person that looks at this wench and thinks clearly massive mental health issues? Get back, get back, get back, get back. Get the baton out, boys. I just want to say, actually, they get so much grief, particularly in this country. They don't really have... There isn't really... Like in America, I know it's not so much anymore, but you did have a long period of time where you had people that like back the blue. Unfortunately, in the UK, you've never really had that. And so it just kind of went from them not really having anyone that stuck up for them to now, you know, since the lockdowns and stuff, a lot of people really hating them. It definitely wasn't anywhere near as bad as Australia, but it was still pretty bad. And to see them here actually standing up to Antifa, unlike in Portland. And you have to remember, none of these guys has a gun or a taser. Like, well, actually, there might be like 1 in every 10 that has a taser. But other than that, it's just a flick stick. So, you know, look at what they're wearing. It's not like they've got tactical garb, like some of them do. So I would just like to give a mini round of applause for doing your job. Cheers, boys.
Orders! No nation! No nations, no borders! Law and order!
No borders, no nations, stop deportations. Yeah, that's really big brained. 3 or 4 days after a New Zealand terrorist attack, because their stupid, human rights knobheads wouldn't let them deport a terrorist, who then turned around and amazingly committed a terrorist attack. Yeah, big brain teenage Antifa.
You're fucking starting, mate. Fuck off.
Look at that. I'm impressed with that, man. It's like 10 police pushing back like 30, 40 Antifa people. Mind you, it is Antifa. That's good.
Move that way forward! Fucking head, look at his scum. Get your fucking men in order, bro.
Moving that way, push that way! Get back! Stop moving that way! Stop moving that way! Sir, can you move that way? People are going to move down. Stop pushing us! Don't push me! Get your hands off! Shake your fucking hands off! Keep moving! Protect the fascists!
Who protect the fascists?
That black British policeman is gallantly protecting the people that you refer to as the fascists. Oh look, and there's an Asian Brit as well. God, typical Antifa, man. They never change.
Do people want to change with the journalists on the phone, please? Because
Okay, they have a right to free speech. Listen, I'm not done. Okay. Whether you like what they're saying or not, they are not breaking any rules, therefore they can...
What an absolute freaking legend. Listen, dudes, we need to give mini rounds of applause to police when they do well, especially in this country, because they go by... I know that they should go by the law, but we know that they are swung heavily by public sentiment. And if you don't applaud them when they do something like this is a British policeman standing in the face of a horde of Antifa hooligans. Well, they're not even hooligans because they're all pussies, but a horde of Antifa children, brats, spoiled brats, and explaining the concept of free speech. You might not like what they're saying, just as we might not like what you're saying. But everybody has the right to free speech. Even if it is a much lesser form of free speech in America, there is a form of free speech in the UK. And if you're legally, if you've been accepted to have your protest, you are allowed to be there. So, enjoy.
Shout that, yes,
The same group that blocked ports at Dover. Is that legal?
Are they doing that right now?
Come on, back!
Take her back.
Yeah, so that was another Antifa big brain moment. That was, in fact, quite lovely, just how fucking absurd that was. So that was an Asian lady, a complete innocent, walking across the road, and because she happened to be within a square mile of the, frankly, normal people protesting, the fact that we can't deport, serious criminals, because she happened to be anywhere near them crossing the road, they attacked her. Yeah, she was nothing to do with either side. She was just walking to work. So well done, Antifa. Congratulations. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing that. I would give a mini round of applause to the old Bill. I think it took balls to go up against a crowd, even if it is Antifa. There's a lot of people. The police don't carry guns here, and I thought they did a very good job. And maybe the Portland police could take, a leaf out of their book. But from what I understand, it's more of a case in Portland of the politicians kind of tying one hand behind their back, a bit like the American military. They're always forced to fight with both hands and one leg tied behind them. But yeah, so I thought they did pretty well, and I think people should, try and share this. Actually, this would be probably a good video to share. First of all, to show people that deny this sort of stuff is a reality in the UK, and this, people that pretend that this isn't what the left is now in the UK. But also to show to people that there are still police that are willing to push back against people like this, even when the odds are not in their favour. So yeah, thanks to them. And I would also say, for those of you that are not British or English, you might not be able to tell just by accents and looks and stuff like that, but mainly the accents about, what type of people these are. And these people, I can 100% guarantee you, the majority of these people are probably university graduates. At the very least, they are middle class, and they're the types of people that really have no reason to be whining. And as I said before, what a terrible time to do this. Where we've just seen that because of your human rightsy type people pushing back against, deporting criminals and dangerous people, we've now had another terrorist event in New Zealand. So to come out and be like, no borders, blah blah blah, no blah 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 blah. Like, grow up. I cannot stand people that are 20 or 25 trying to tell people, what we should and shouldn't be doing. Tell me how it's done then. Because everything I can see so far of their ideas have already been tried, ended miserably, and they seem to show no respect to countries that have, fought their butts off over the centuries to try and create the shade from a tree that they will never sit under. But no, these people are completely ungrateful, spoiled little brats, and I'm just grateful that the police were there to educate them and to push back. So yeah, if you like this, please share it. Not even for me, but just because I want to, because none of this is monetized. I could monetize it, not that it would really be worth it. But to me, it's more important to get this stuff out there. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.
Winston stopped writing, partly because he was suffering from cramp. He did not know what had made him pour out this stream of rubbish